thing.
I think that's
a good point.
I think that the only time where it does come into play is if you're reviewing a bunch of different items, and some companies have paid you or have gifted you the item, and then you're more inclined to view them in a positive light. So how does
it work for you guys? Because I know you guys review products.
I mean, we typically, because we review products, I think our integrity as reviewers comes first. So we all tend to work on a campaign. So if a new camera comes out or a new phone comes out, for example, we'll work with a brand to help them showcase a feature of that technology.
And it constantly runs out of battery.
So you talk to them about it. They will help you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Battery issue.
Why did you go for the iPhone 8?
I didn't get the free one. I bought a spun.
So why did you go for it?
Why did I go for it? Because my phone was broken, and I was, as a woman, there are certain times when you just want to buy yourself something and just treat yourself.
Yeah.
I didn't want to wait for that.
I do that as well sometimes. I tend to do that at the end of the month. Every month. I just treat myself.
Anytime like the check comes in.
Pretty much no. I needed a new phone, and I didn't want to wait for the X. And to be honest,
sorry, your other one kept breaking.
Huh?
The other one kept breaking, but this one.
This one isn't good either.
Have you got an 8 as well?
No, I've got the 7.
Is it? Hello guys, we are back on the weekly update, and we've got two very good-looking, very talented, amazing men in the studio.
Good thing they can't see us.
They can
on our camera.
Oh, wow.
Tommy and John, welcome. Thank you so much for being in the studio today. You are known as a GadgetsJon and GadgetsBoy, and I would like to know a little bit about that, how that came along, and Tommy, go.
So this began about 6 years ago, a bit prior to that, but 6 years is the main marking point where I was like, I was buying gadgets, I've always got the latest thing going, and everyone's just like, why don't you start something where you talk about it online? And this is days before Twitter and all this stuff. So yeah, I just started doing it as a blog, and went onto YouTube, then Twitter came along, and then Instagram came along, and then eventually I met John at one of the events
Hi John.
One of many events that I always attend, and John was like, yeah, we just kind of clicked, and then after a while,
How did you guys meet?
At an event.
It was through a PR. I think it was Gillette.
Yeah. Callum, our friend Callum, invited us to an event.
PR.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then we kind of just got along really well, and then eventually we were like, we should work together and do something together, and yeah, here we are.
And what is it that you actually do?
So review product, sort of like an evangelist really. I used to call myself that, tech evangelist, and what that means is I just advocate for tech and like gadgets and consumer tech, and like educate people on what's new, what's coming out.
And do the companies approach you, or you go out and kind of source your different
products? Now they approach us, just because we've built a platform for ourselves, but at the start I have to like send loads of emails every day. Hustle was hard. It still happens now with like the bigger brands, but now we're in a good space.
Okay, and is it mainly written reviews that you do, or do you do a lot of video logs, or kind of what do you find the most engagement with as well?
Video right now, because we're also social media specialists as well, I like to call ourselves, so we understand the space quite well. So videos are quite engaging right now, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever. So
do you want to plug yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm at GadgetsBoy everywhere, so just Google me.
And you're also very verified.
Oh yeah.
And YouTube as well.
And YouTube.
We basically just started to revitalize the GadgetsBoy YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So we've been doing a lot more on there. We're on Facebook as well as GadgetsBoy. Myself, I'm on Instagram as GadgetsJon. Jon. I don't know why anyone puts H in John. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's the side point. But yeah, I got into the whole tech thing. I've been a photographer for about 15 years. I've always had the latest cameras and phones, and yeah, like Tommy, I've always loved technology. And I found that I was one of those go-to people. If people wanted to buy a new phone or a new camera, they'd be like, oh, John, what do you think I should get? This phone or that phone, this camera or that camera? And I really enjoy, helping people spend their money.
Oh, really? Yeah, me too.
I love it. I kind of live through other people's spend, so Yeah, I love that.
I have to say, I had an experience with your photography. You took a picture of me that is still the best photo
Oh, that's very kind to say.
I think anyone's ever taken, and you've put it in scene, and you've produced it, and you've
Produced the photo.
produced it. You've art directed it. Sorry. Is this still your passion?
Yeah, I think photography is, I mean, like I said, I've done it for half my life now. So it is, I normally think visually. And the same thing when I write quite visually.
Mm-hmm.
So, and even when I talk, I speak quite visually. So I think photography and video will always be mediums that, especially now, more than ever, will be mediums that are important to me. And it's crazy because I studied journalism. So I'm like a traditional newspaper trained journalist.
Amazing.
Oh wow.
But then social media happened, and the fact that I can take pictures and shoot videos became relevant. And I never anticipated that. So I've now gone from thinking I was going to be a newspaper guy in an office writing crappy stories all the time
To doing what you love.
to doing what I love, which is amazing. And I get to do it with one of my best friends. So
I think that's amazing. I've got a lot of respect for that. Guys, we're going to go into a song, but we'll be right back. And obviously, we're going to take advantage of the fact that you guys have tried every phone
Yes.
and every gadget. And we're just going to have a couple of quick fire questions and get your opinions on it, if that's okay.
We've got
Sounds
Camilla
awesome.
Destiny, Sunset.
A little bit of Camilla Destiny right here on Hoxton Radio. We actually had her on the show, and she's awesome, and she's your friend now, isn't she, Lara?
Yeah, she's fantastic. She's got a new single coming out, so we'll get her in really
Yeah.
shortly.
I'm excited about that. But what I'm more excited about right now is that we've got Tommy and John in the studio, and GadgetsBoy and
How you doing? How you doing?
GadgetsJon. Hi. Guys, first of all, I need to ask, because German girl, you came back from Munich yesterday.
Yes.
I was
Straight
in,
from
I was
you.
in Berlin.
Oh, you were in Berlin?
He was in Berlin.
Okay, tell me first of all,
Separate missions.
John, what did you do in Berlin?
I'm actually working on a 4-page article for Amateur Photographer magazine about the Hasselblad X1D, which is one of my cameras, and it's incredible. So I'm just I've been traveling recently, taking shots for the article. I was in Philippines like 2 days before Berlin.
Really?
I want to get some, because it's boring reading an article with just one type of picture. So I went to Philippines for
I'm
a
going
week.
to take a picture of it and tweet it in a second.
Please
Tell
do.
me, it looks very intense and it looks very
Yeah.
complicated. Is
That's
it
about £12,000 worth of camera.
Whoa!
really? Guys, I'll just be right back.
Both of us.
Anyway, you just wait here. Is it a camera anybody can use? Or
Yeah,
is
of
it
course. One of the things I love about it is very simple design. Like you can see, it's Swedish contemporary design, and it's a really easy camera to use, and it takes incredible pictures because it's medium format. And if you don't know what that means, it just means it has a much bigger sensor than a DSLR, like a normal big camera that you'd see. The sensor's way bigger, so it captures more light, the quality is much better, the detail's much better.
Does it have Wi-Fi so you can upload it on your
Yes, it
Insta?
does.
Exactly what I wanted
Priorities.
No, seriously though, because I'll always take photos on a camera and then they just never go anywhere because I can't be bothered uploading it on my computer, and then it just needs to go straight to Instagram basically.
Yeah.
I find that really interesting. Is this a camera that you would have picked yourself?
Yeah, I was at the launch in Gothenburg last year, and I was sat in the whole press conference like, shut up, take my money. 'Cause this is,
Really?
it's the most affordable medium format camera that Hasselblad has ever made. The next cheapest camera above this is like 16 grand.
So
Wow.
you're talking about what we
Yeah.
said earlier, Instagram ads, hashtag ads. This
Yeah.
is actually something that you would use.
I bought it. This
you bought
this
it?
is mine, yeah.
So in that case, we won't be stealing it. Tommy, I've got to come over to you. You've come back from Munich yesterday.
Yes. Got back
first-
late.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
And didn't you go to a concert?
I went to a concert before.
Where'd you go?
I went to see J. Cole.
Was it amazing?
It was brilliant.
And
Oh,
he's only had 1 hour's sleep in
I
the
had 1
past
hour
few
sleep
days.
and I had to get on a flight straight to Munich.
You look fantastic. So I don't really know if I
It's
believe
water. I just
that.
have to drink lots of water.
Yeah, we don't look so good after
We don't look so
one.
good after a concert. Nope. First of all, J. Cole was amazing.
Oh, I love that guy. He's one of my favourite artists out there. So he's just fantastic.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, we'll give a tweet out and let him know.
See if he replies.
See if he replies. And then you went straight to
Yeah, so I went
work,
straight to
really?
Munich. Yeah.
What were you doing there?
So one of the brands that I review quite a lot, Huawei, they have a new phone out. Well, 2 phones out. One of them is going to be in the UK very soon. But the main thing is phones nowadays is all about cameras. So cameras and design. So the two new phones are very much all about that. So design, fantastic design, great cameras. dual lens camera setup, so you can get nice black and white photos.
Okay.
You can get colors as well.
I have a question for you. Okay,
Yeah.
so I've used a Samsung phone before and have switched back to iPhone because Android interface annoys the hell out of me. What? Seriously, it's they make it really complicated and just annoying to use. What's your? I mean, that's in really, really sophisticated terms. Everyone, could you potentially word that better for me?
So basically, you have Android operating system, and your iPhones have their own. Apple have their own operating system.
Yeah.
The problem is Apple's operating system is not open source, and what that means is basically not anyone can just grab it and do whatever they want with it. So with Android, if I buy an Android phone, I can go and totally mess with the whole software.
You can customize it.
Yeah, but does anyone
it.
actually do that?
No one.
Yes, we do.
Not many. Some people do. The thing is, people that started out with Android phones are they're quite used with doing things like that. They're used to doing things like that. But what's happening now though is Google have their own phone out, which is the Pixel. So what that does is it's very simple. It's very similar to the iOS setup. So you don't have to do much on it. It's just nice and straightforward. There's no bloatware, so there's no random applications that you don't need. So if you want something that's simple but on Android, so you go for something like that.
Okay, so basically if you want the features of an Android with the simplicity of an Apple, you get the Google phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Is it
That's on the weekly update, guys.
So the new one, the new one's coming out, I think,
End of
from
this
November.
month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
End of this month / November, you'll be able to pick one
That
up.
sounds like the dream
Yeah, yeah.
phone. Is that the dream?
Pixel 2.
It's awesome.
The reviews have come out today and they've been
yeah.
quite mixed.
It's
Oh,
mixed.
really?
Okay, tell us the shade. What's
Yeah,
up?
give
What's-
us the
yeah.
shade room.
Two main things that are good about it: the camera and the software, which I always praise them for. But
Yeah.
the other things like design and screen quality, not
Okay,
so.
what's happening with the design? Tell
It's a bit
us.
plasticky.
Yeah, it feels cheap.
Really?
For a phone that you're going to pay like
How much is
£800 for,
Is it 800?
it feels, compared to your iPhone or my Samsung here, when you pick it up, it's got a bit of weight to it. It feels premium, right?
Okay.
That
So
one
guys,
feels
I've
cheap.
got my little question too because Lara got her little weight.
We have
in,
the
so
iPhone 8.
I've got the iPhone 8 because
Nice.
I couldn't wait for the X to come out because my phone was actually ruining my
Question
social life.
is it X or is it 10?
No.
Ooh, it's X.
No, wait, what? Isn't yours the 8?
It's the 8.
Next one.
Right.
So
That's a really good right.
Yeah. So this is the problem. So I was having this conversation recently actually with some other tech journalists. So like they market it as the X when they write it on adverts and stuff, but they tell journalists to actually say it as the 10 because that's what they want it to be known as.
Yeah, but then,
Just
see, the
Roman
problem
numerals.
Then why would they name it
Because
the
the
X if they want it
marketing
to be
is
known as the
amazing.
10?
Yeah, because X
Because
looks
X
better
is
than
marketing.
10.
Yeah.
When you're writing it, X looks way better than 10. It looks cool.
Oh,
Have you guys seen it?
Yeah,
Really?
it's
Are
nice.
you allowed to talk about it?
I haven't seen the real thing, but I've seen the prototype before the main thing. So like because what happens is they leak before the real thing comes out.
Of course.
So I've seen the leaked version, which is
Of course.
identical, is exactly the same.
When you say see, like, have you picked it up or you see it online?
Oh, you have?
I've picked up the dummy, prototype, whatever you want to call it, leaked version. But I actually want to see the real deal when it comes out, so I can actually use it with the new iOS operating system.
And what are your thoughts? Is it like one that you're psyched about coming out, or is it like,
Nah.
I'm a bit like, nah, like it's...
overhyped?
Yeah, they're not doing much at the moment
Do you know
compared
what the biggest
to everyone
problem?
else.
For me, the biggest problem that phone has is it's £1,000 plus. That for me just kills it.
Really?
Because
Yeah.
there are phones out there that have this. The whole big thing is it has an infinity screen. All of it is screen, and that's cool. But then when you consider there are phones out there like the
I want a
Sharp,
button.
the Sharp phone.
There's the OnePlus 5.
Yeah, the
Looks good.
OnePlus 5.
Yeah, we've got a phone right here.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
That's the OnePlus 5, but it's the limited edition John Charles de Castelbajac version.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Can I just say this is a beautiful.
Lara said
It looks like a perfume, yeah. It looks like a perfume box. I thought the boys had brought me a
Yeah.
present, and then I was really
It would
upset.
surprise me if he was going for something like that though.
Probably.
Sort of box design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have one question as well. So with the iPhone X, is that the face recognition
Yeah.
one? That to me
It's
is just
freaky.
is so freaky, and all the memes came out where it's like you think your girlfriend's taking a selfie on your phone, but she's really like logging her face as the facial recognition.
And also, like, say if you're like, I don't know, if you're really paranoid and the person you're with is asleep,
Yeah.
You could just put the phone to their face.
So actually,
No, but-
and unlock it.
No, but really,
While they're sleeping.
it's gone with the like sleep photos of the side girl. Now it's like she can actually get into your entire phone.
So actually, that's a myth. That's a myth.
Don't your eyes have to be open?
Yes, they have to be open.
But what
so-
if you sleep with your eyes open? Because some people do that.
Oh yeah, who for instance, Lara?
I don't know.
Is this something we don't know?
No, she just likes to do this to
I
me.
just like to add her love life on the radio, or like thereof.
Sorry, Dad.
So, okay, so the eyes have to be open.
Yeah.
What if a girl, and that's totally not something I made up, but I read that, wears a lot of contour
Yeah.
and a lot of makeup, does the facial recognition, would it recognize her?
That's a good
Because
point.
I look
What-
very different in my
So-
passport photo, like I look really cute, okay?
Also, like, what if you use like a large printed picture of somebody? Would that work?
No, it wouldn't work. Pictures
How do
won't
you
work because it measures all the contours on your face and everything.
So basically, if you do contour,
If you do
your
contour-
face-
So yeah, so that's been a
When you're-
controversy as well.
and you're
And
out.
wasn't there a case when they presented it that it didn't work at the launch?
So people
They've
are
got an
quick,
excuse for that.
yeah, people are quick to jump on hype online. So
Okay.
that was actually not an issue, it's because that's the way iPhones are designed. So even now with your fingerprint sensor, when it doesn't work, what's going to do is going to bounce back and say you need to put your pin in, and that's what happened that day because someone else had been using it to make sure they work.
But it
That's
sounds
so
like-
bad because the headlines everywhere were.
And that's not very Apple. You expect them to be much slicker than
But
that.
to
I
their,
agree.
to on their side though, like that's a testament to how good the security feature is. Because
That's very true.
Even Tim Cook couldn't unlock his phone.
Right. Well, that's enough Apple talk for the moment. We'll be right back with more questions for you guys. Hi guys, we are back. It is Lara and Lara here on the weekly update with our special gadget guests. That was a bit of a mouthful, that one. We've done
Mouthful, hey?
Oh,
So we had a really entertaining break in which Laura got into conspiracy theories. Bum, bum, bum.
It's not. Ooh, I like that. It's not a conspiracy theory.
It is
it's
fact.
It is a fact.
It is
No,
a
guys, I
German
want to hear
fact.
everyone's opinion about this. So, I will be on the phone to a friend chatting about, I don't know, her wedding dress.
right.
The next thing I know, all over my social media, on my Instagram, on my Facebook, on my Twitter, there will be ads about wedding. Is that in my head or does it exist?
No, it actually exists. Yeah.
So do they record what you're saying?
So obviously your phones have a microphone in them. So you've when you sign up to certain things, you've given your phone the access to access your microphone. If that makes sense.
yeah. So
Well,
it'll say,
well,
do you want to allow this app to access your
Actually,
microphone?
Can I turn that off?
You can. Yeah, you can change app permissions.
Yeah. As far as I know, on Android you can. I don't know about
I
Apple.
don't know about Apple.
Ooh, okay, we'll have to
And
check that
how
out.
far does this? So does this just do advertisers then pay to get?
the data.
Is that how it
Yeah,
works?
yeah.
So this is not a conspiracy
No,
theory.
no,
Thank you
no.
very
So-
much. This is true.
So some people get paid a lot of money for ad buying, for example. So there are agencies out there who their sole purpose is for buying ads, and what they do is they drill down to the minute detail.
Well, it's
to
data
serve you.
collection,
Yeah,
and they're
to
saying
serve
like
you
data
ads.
is the.
It's data, honey.
I say data.
Data.
I'm
Why are you-
Australian.
why are you
Can
American?
I'm
Yeah,
Australian.
nobody wild me out.
Oh my God. Wait, what do you say?
what-
Data.
It's data.
It is data, which yeah.
I think everyone, yeah.
What is your opinion on that? Do
See,
you think
my-
this is ethically right? Do you think what's your?
The thing is, I've got two positions on it. If you're not paying for the service, you are the service, right? So if you're not, like, you buy your phone, you're not paying just to have Google. Search is free. So they have to make money out of that somehow.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to pay for search, then they're gonna have to make money out of it. So
That's very true,
you're
actually.
agreeing to use the service for free, then you have to become the product. And that's just how it works. But then you have things like a friend of mine, his daughter was showing him something on her Facebook, and he told me, and he didn't want to say anything to her, but he saw loads of ads for like pregnancy tests.
Oh
And I
no!
was
Oh
like,
my
he was like, what do I
God.
do?
Oh my god!
And
Is
his
it really?
daughter's like 18. So
Oh my
he's
gosh.
like, what do I do?
Yeah.
I was like, you
Wow.
can't say anything. She hasn't said anything to you, so you have to just bite your lip and hope that she talks to you about it. But
Yeah.
that's
That
crazy.
wouldn't be my dad. That would not be my dad.